Welcome to Shoot the Breeze, where we talk about filmmaking and business ownership in the creative space.
Yeah, welcome to Shoot the Breeze.
Yeah, our first episode.
What do you want to hit on today?
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about we can just talk about business ownership and all the things
piece of cake.
Piece of cake that comes with that. I guess just like tell me more about your experience in owning your own business, how long you've been doing that for, and stuff you've learned.
Yeah, I mean, it's been about 10 years. I would say COVID was kind of like you take -2, right? Because that was kind of a weird time. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been great. I love working with my clients. We primarily focus on B2B customers, commercials, advertisements, educational videos, tourism, which is funny because I think one of the biggest things I remember when I first started, and you probably heard this too, and it still kind of comes into play, is niching down. Like, should you niche down? Because when we first started here, being in Northern California, which is a little bit different than Los Angeles and the bigger markets like the Bay Area, you kind of, when you're first starting out, you just need cash flow. You need cash flow, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like you pick up every project you can. It's going to be, I don't do weddings. We don't do real estate. It's all, I was always inspired by business videos because I always liked seeing the results that it would generate for the client, right? You put out a commercial, you put out an ad, you're running some type of campaign, and it's you get to see the fruit of your labor, right?
Definitely.
I mean, you could do that with real estate, but that's a whole nother game, right? I don't want to be shooting the same thing every day, and the margins are there's no creativity, right?
Sorry for those real estate videographers out there.
Yeah, it's just not. Yeah, it just wasn't for me.
It
just wasn't for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, can you make some good money in that? Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Because it's repeatable. And that's why I was like asking, like, oh, do you niche down? Because like,
so where do you find your niche? Like, everybody says that, right? Because like if you broaden it too much, you don't specialize in anything, and then it's just like you're not gonna find your clientele. I'd say I think it's a lot harder if you're just like, I'm everything. I do everything. I think that's like kind of impossible. I mean, in some cases, yeah, you can shoot everything. That's great. I don't think clients, they want to see exactly like stuff that they've their industry, right?
It's related to their industry, and they don't want to just see one piece. They want to see 4 or 5, 6 pieces. And especially if you want to work with marketing, like if you're going to attach yourself to larger marketing agencies, the same thing. Like, are you the guy that shoots pharmaceutical videos? Like, that is a very specific world, right? Like, very specific and highly rigid. And it's like, there's those video production companies that just do pharmaceutical commercials. That's all they do. Same with the food shots, right?
Right.
So that was always a thing, like, where do you niche down at? And because like,
I mean, I still, like, in my first year, it was hard to niche down on what I really wanted to do because there's so many fun industries to film. And it's like, where did my style fit the best? And I think, at least for me, like hospitality and like ranching and cowboys and, all these things, like filming that stuff is just like, has been the most fun. Right. So targeting those, types of, like dude ranches and stuff like that has been like really, really fun. But I also enjoy, like we did Under Armour, it was like, I enjoy that. I enjoy athletic stuff and like brands, like clothing brands.
There's some truth to that. I found that, you asking about the niche and stuff like that. And I would say, we do a lot of, recently in like last 3 or 4 years, industrial kind of kind of blue collar industries, and they're super fun, dude. Like I really enjoy working with them. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I grew up. Those are the families like that was my family, and those are just kind of like I just relate to those people a little bit better.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and and especially being on set, I've had where it's like working with certain organizations, they have multiple videographers, and they're like, oh hey, the people that I interview, not the client who's directly like producing the video with me, but like we'll get feedback from the people, at the lower levels that I interviewed to work with. They're like, dude, can you bring Steve back? Like we
Mm.
just, we enjoyed working with him, and whether it's like a public works like educational video or like a steel manufacturing video or machine processing those
Yeah.
water treatment plants, like
Yeah.
I was talking about
Yeah.
water treatment plants. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, can we bring Steve back? Because the video world, it's refreshing for them because they have this perspective of like the creative services world,
Mhm.
that it's going to be just that typical kind of maybe art student that probably hasn't, ever
Nope.
picked up a shovel or had to
Yeah.
build a
Yeah.
fence
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
change a tire. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like they've never got their hands technically dirty.
Right.
Um,
Well, and it's good because if you choose like a niche, like you said, if you have experience in it, or like just like real life experience already in something like that, then it kind of just flows with you get along with your clients and relationships because then more, and when you go to direct on set, all about it, right? It's like
yeah. And
it's
being,
really helpful.
yeah. And like, with Dovas Media, like, we shoot the commercials, we shoot the advertisements, we shoot the videos, and then we do a lot of the digital advertising. My wife handles that side of the business with, the Google and YouTube
Hmm.
and the media buying. And, I've learned a lot from her. So I'm able to like bridge the two worlds when I'm working with them. It's like, oh, they want to shoot this like, promotional video about, this construction project. And it's like, how do we target the audience that they're trying to reach? And I'm able to relate with them and then also bridge that gap,
Right.
and
Right.
not get into the
Yeah.
weeds of like creative or strategy where they don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just break it down and keep it very simple for them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it helps with the relations for sure. The relationship for sure. I think 90% of any issues that come up on set can be solved by just talking on the phone and getting on there instead of blasting out an email or sending text. And it's like, just get on the phone, which a lot of people don't do anymore. Right.
Yeah.
For good reason. Like, look at the amount of spam calls you get, dude. But,
Hmm.
yeah, it's like, just there are no problems, and just being able to solve the opportunity and call and work with the client when things, maybe if it's scope creep or
Hmm.
projects might be getting out of hand or maybe something's not working out. It's like there's always a way to there's always an opportunity when there's a challenge or a problem that you can turn it into a positive thing. And that's always been my mindset. And I think I bring that on every project, and it just makes for an easy process. Where I have seen working with other folks getting contracted out, it's like the producer or director just just kind of like takes it personally or just loses it. It's like, dude, these are small minor things that can be fixed in the big scheme of things. Like these aren't
Yeah.
big issues, dude. Like you can totally solve this by just talking to your client and walking through it.
Right. Yeah. Communication, right? I mean, at the
Communication
end of the day,
skills.
it's all about communication, right? It's like you can be open and transparent with your clients and with your contractors. I think it's really good to do that, and
Yeah,
that's what solves the problem, right?
communication's
Um,
key.
but
And
it's really fun to tell clients like their stories, right? Because I mean, at the end of the day, you're an artist telling stories for
yeah.
people in this way, right?
Do you find that's working? Like, let's talk about people always talking about.
Oh yeah, no.
No, what
So
about
we talked
attention
about
spans? I always hear that. I've
what
I've
about
heard
it?
that.
What
I've heard
about it?
that from
Yeah,
forever. People's attention spans. People's attention spans are like dwindling, and they can't pay attention. Which I think is true. I think it's true. Right? I'm not going to knock it. But then if you look at, I've always heard like, but then look at movies, right? Like you can get a bunch of strangers to sit in a dark room with each other for like 2 hours and watch a film. So like, what I'm saying is, people are like, oh, the attention span. It's like, well, maybe your stuff's just not that good.
yeah, yeah.
Or maybe it's not formatted for the right audience, right? It's not the right audience. You're like,
Well, I think your first point was correct. Yeah, I think that's kind of an interesting topic because like at some like yeah, we do have shorter attention spans, but that doesn't mean your video has to be like 30 seconds of garbage. You know, or 15 seconds of garbage, right? Where it's like, if you're going to make a 15-second reel, you better have a hook and a pain point and a call to action. Like, if it's marketing, like for marketing, right? Like, it needs to be like punchy. It needs to grab attention. And it could be 15 seconds of that, or it could be 15 seconds of, well, this is boring. No one wants to watch that. They would just scroll. So is it your attention span, or is it like, really, you're just making a bad reel? Like,
Well, I think
I
what
don't know.
happens, a bad
It's like,
reel, and I
yeah.
think, gosh, dude, the marketing world, it's like, uh, it's weird, dude, because I've been reading books about how there's still this mindset of TV. I mean, how many times do you get hit up on a 15, right? They want a 15, 30, 45 spot. And you're like,
Mhm.
what, but where's this going? It's going on social media. Okay, so we're not running this on TV. This is not going to actually sit on a broadcast spot. No. It's like, throw that time. You know, there's no reason for the time.
Yeah.
Just cut to quality, cut to good. If it's 5 seconds, or, you know, you've seen the even shorter stuff, right? But then what's really interesting is I've seen, my wife was showing the increase in numbers on the really, really short micro content, which
Mhm.
I've seen some examples of. I was like, dude, that's good. It communicated a message in like 5 seconds. Like that should be a straight up like course in college,
It's
or films like
That's one of the hardest
communicating
things
in
to
three,
do,
5 seconds.
right? Yeah.
Really? No,
Yeah.
really. And it's fascinating to me. Some of these
Yeah.
brands that do it, some of these examples
Yep.
that just communicate visually how quickly.
They can get a message across like like that. It's
Yeah.
like, it's awesome. It really is down to the creativity. I mean,
Yeah. And it depends.
like the
Yeah.
people who are making those things are, it's incredible. And then you learn from that, and you're like, oh, okay, like that really expands your knowledge. Like watching things like that to go and put it into practice.
It
You
is.
know,
It's the creativity, right?
yeah.
And I think it's the creativity is the variable that allows you to break through the noise, because we're just flooded with so much content and just garbage all the time. And,
Right.
you know, the algorithms are delivering you stuff that you're dude. But yeah, the creative is what's going to make you stand out. And it is fun to
Mm-hmm.
see some of that micro stuff. But then also at the same time, bro, it's like I'll be you know, laying in bed and I'm just watching like a 2-3 hour podcast video
Mm-hmm.
of, you know, a topic that I'm interested in,
Right.
and I'm watching this thing through and through because I'm engaged, right? Like it's hitting, it's this, I'm generally interested in what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's like this long, because I've seen the if you look at the numbers, like I don't know, it's like the long form content is actually really doing really well. Like
Mm-hmm.
what video sales, the VSLs on these landing pages, you would think in the old days it was always like 60-second video. They land on my website, give them a 60-second video, give them a 2-minute video. Dude, what's performing is like around 7 minutes. 7 minutes, where
Mm-hmm.
it's okay, obviously it's like the sales funnel, right? You have the awareness
Yeah.
part. But I'm saying
Yeah.
when they land on your landing
Yeah.
page and you're trying to get them to convert or click or buy tickets or sign up to a newsletter or whatever,
Right.
the average length that's success is around 7 minutes. Those, they say they perform the best because they're providing so much value up front. What do they call it? Edutainment or whatever.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
doing they're educating you and you're giving you exactly what you want, dude. Because
Mhm.
you watch a 2-minute video and it's made for marketing on a landing page. You're just like, okay, you're trying to sell me again. Like, just
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing over sometimes.
which is
Feels
different
like
because
that.
it's not high end, catchy, like super beautiful visuals or anything like that. It's literally like value, but it's not
Right.
visual value. It's like, you know, it's just different.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of those, and I've found, like, I was like, oh, that is, you know, it's just different. It's just different.
Yeah.
Different pieces of video for different people and their different journeys on to discovering your brand and finding you and
Right.
and getting engaged with your product or service, right?
Absolutely. And how creative can we get with their brand? That's why they hire us, right? It's like why clients come to you for video production is how creative can you get? And they might, and basically it's like, well, I mean, like the ones that care, the brands that care, how creative can you get, right? I mean, you see Adidas, you see all these like really creative brands, their marketing teams are insane. Like some of their videos are Just insane. Just like the marketing and the creative story that they tell just within like 30 seconds is it's outrageous sometimes. It's just like, wow, that is incredible. And like you said, 5 seconds, right? I think like what's hard for me nowadays is like I used to before AI, I used to like sit down and just think and write and think and write and like come up with a concept that was like super creative. And I think AI has actually like made you somewhat less creative, right? Like less there's a level of creativity where like it's an original idea and you made it and it's like and you did it and you executed it well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now AI comes in like and kind of takes that whole process and like that fun creative process that used to be challenging and now makes it into something really short and you don't have to think much about it, which I kind of miss, but also it's helpful. So like there's a good and bad in that. Um but I think like original ideas like usually come from the people that have like just been at this for years and then just like take a brand and do something really cool with it. Like look at Apple, right? Like I don't know, back in the day, like Apple used their
Yeah.
creative team was insane. Like I mean now it's okay. Like it's not amazing. It's not like it used to be, but it's just like who you get behind uh
Well, I
in that
think
team.
their marketing was. I, I don't know. I don't know too much about. I know what you're talking about generally, but it'd
Mm-hmm.
be interesting to see, did the marketing decline after Steve Jobs left, when the owner is still involved with the company,
Mm-hmm.
or the founder. I don't know if he's the owner. I don't know the structure, but
Yeah,
he was driving the company, right?
right.
You wondered what the marketing, when he was involved, what the marketing looked like, and then when the board and the MBA kids come and they take it over and it's management just running it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you do what's safe and keeps you, it's different. It's a different environment, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
it's let's do it safe, and I don't, just need to get my, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, how do you
And
feel about AI
AI is,
as in like the creative process?
I mean, AI is good for cleaning up your thoughts, right? Like, instead of
Right.
actually trying, because me, I want to get it. I'm a horrible writer. My wife's great, man. She like writes out everything, and it's just
Yeah.
pages and pages of stuff. Where I'm just like, it has to be perfect each sentence, and that's why like
Hmm.
yeah, I just hated. But I jot down your thoughts and put it together and see what it comes up with, dude. It comes up with some clever little. The music. I love the lyrics that it comes up with when songs write me a song. Like everyone gives AI a bad. I love it.
Yeah.
But original ideas, yeah, it gets pretty tacky, dude. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a good launching point to kind of organize your thoughts, and then like, like let's keep the human in the loop and add. That's why you're super creative, dude. Like you're always talking about visions and stories and how you want to do this and visually do that. And it's always fun working with you because you're like, oh, dude, like it's nice to have that, that fresh perspective. For me, it's like when it approaches creativity, because you're just so busy, right? You just work,
Yeah.
it's like you really, I don't know. But then ideas come to you when like you're in the shower,
Yeah.
right? When you're
Yeah.
like shut off, you're not trying.
Yeah.
It's like you go for a walk, dude, and you get some of the best ideas. There's some neuroscience research behind that, like
Yeah.
where you're like, and oh, gosh, dude, I read somewhere about boredom, bro. Like I know this is a tangent, but like how glued we are to the phones,
Mm.
myself included, constantly stimulated, constantly looking at stuff. And they were saying like boredom is actually the time your brain like organizes thoughts and ideas and makes connections,
Huh.
is when you're bored, dude. But we prevent ourselves
So
from
that
being so bored all the
right.
time. It's like,
Right.
it's kind of interesting to think about. And I feel like that's when the ideas come, when you're like in the shower on a walk. You're like, you're not struggling with it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like organizing things. It's kind of weird. That
Yeah.
doesn't have to do with your AI question, but
Well, it's like you said, it's like you're not bored enough to think, if that makes sense.
you're not bored.
Like
Yeah.
like you because you have a phone, right? Like if I was bored, I think I'd think a lot more,
Yeah.
right?
You would.
Like
You would. And
which I probably should put my phone away and
but
start
then
thinking more. I think the creativity would flow better.
But then the creativity for me, like the definition of innovation is you're just combining two separate things that are different and you're combining them. And like that, for me, that's innovation.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's like coming up with the original idea and all that. Yeah. Like for me, because, you know, we're in the business of this.
Yeah.
You gotta put up, you know, you're putting out products, you're working with multiple agencies and customers and clients. So look at the internet, bro. Like you've got so much access to so much example work that's been successful.
Right.
For me, it's like, what industry are you in? What have you seen that you like? What have you seen that you like that may not be in your industry? And then you can go in there and start researching and polling, like what are the top performing videos in certain industries or certain topics. And for me, that's how I approach innovation with customer commercials or projects. Like, okay, let's see what was good about that. What worked here? What worked here? Can we combine that instead of trying to like recreate the wheel every time? Because I guarantee you're going to come up with something. You're going to think it's great. The client has to be super involved with it, or else it's like that's just not. No, you're not going to be on the same page.
Yeah.
So I try to I want the client. I'm going to present the client with options, creative options. I'm never stuck on like this. It has to be this way. And you know, that's interesting too. Like, do some people get really stuck on their story? If they do, it's like they're probably out of work. But you have
or take that story and go make a spec, you know, or whatever. Like
you're gonna have to do a spec,
like
dude.
go do a
If
spec.
you want to stick to your story, then and there's no
and if the client cares a lot about like and gives you a lot of creative freedom, then sure, you know, make it. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to have a lot of example work to demonstrate that if they give you creative freedom that you deliver.
You could do that.
You know, that it'll work. But which would come with spec work, and I think spec work is a great way of doing that, is because you know the pressure's off, dude, and you can craft it exactly how you want it. You know.
Yeah, that's the best. It's really good.
And people, So, but yeah, it's just, dude. I mean, right? Like going online, dude. You see all the videos that everyone's ever done.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think. You don't have to recreate the wheel technically, unless like. I find a lot of joy in creating something original, but it's to execute something well originally, like, or is really difficult, right? Like, you could do it, but like, I guess I'm my own worst critic. So when I do that, it's like, I failed. I missed the mark of like what either my vision was or what I imagined it to be, right? I don't know.
We spend all this time and money and resources, like you're saying, put together a team, you shoot it, and it does. It looks beautiful, right? And then you release that on social, and it's kind of a dud.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Well,
but you know who loves it? The marketing department and the guys who are involved with it,
right?
And they're all like, dude, high-fiving each other, and then they go to work with other agencies.
Well, when you go to like performance, like how do your videos perform? I think it's hard to kind of say what performs well, because like, especially on social media, because like you have algorithms that are literally based on what you like, right? So like it performing well everywhere or whatever, like it's kind of interesting, because it's like, well,
if it's performing well everywhere, then something bad happened, or my experience going viral, stuff I've gone viral with, it gets out of hand, dude.
Yeah.
Gets out. But there was a story involved, but
it's harder to go viral nowadays. It's also harder to just get recognized for like, I think a lot of authenticity and good storytelling is always needed, no matter what the algorithm or whatever. But
and when you agree,
and that's fine.
And when you agree with me, nobody wants to watch a commercial. Like, yes, we shoot commercials, we shoot advertising, a lot of advertising video. Nobody wants to watch an ad.
Yeah, you skip the ads if they're really bad.
The hard part is,
but when they pop on the TV, then you're watching.
Well, you're stuck. But
but you watch it and you're like, "Whoa, that was
well." Great. That's because we're in the industry, so we like commercials. I like watching commercials because I'm like, I like see how most people. As soon as that ad comes on TV, bro, boom, I'm grabbing my phone. I'm checked out, unless it's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. But
it's true.
Yeah, but that is the fun part that I love about the work that we do, is like figuring out how to create that emotional connection with a brand or a company, and but make it in a way that doesn't feel like they're being sold, you know.
Right.
I know the word gets used all the time, dude. Storytelling.
Yeah. Everyone uses that word. But it's the word it really just means like, I mean, like connecting with your audience really is pretty much what you're doing, right? Because an ad that like perform like that you like, let's say an ad like comes on TV, it's like, why'd you like that? Oh, it's because it like story was good,
Yeah,
right?
I'm trying to think of an
Like
example. Like, if
story was great.
we're talking, like, what would be an example of some of the storytelling? Gosh, some of the tear jerking ones when you get to see like when they walk like a child and a family through a whole life, and those type of stories,
Hmm.
like, and they grow up, and those are always like some of them have done really. They've been done, when done right, they're so beautiful.
Right. Yeah, like car commercials. You never think it's like a car commercial till the end. Then it's a car commercial, but you're like, oh, some of them, right? They have a really like a short film style, and it like
Car
tells the
commercials.
story. Yeah, and you're like, wait, what? And they're riding in this car, and then at the end, it's like, oh, it's like a little girl and a dad or whatever, and it's like, oh, that was a car commercial, but it pulled you in to like it,
I'm trying to think of car
you know.
commercial that pulled me in. The
I've
only
seen
one, the
I've
only
seen quite a few. I can show you.
The only
I
one,
can show
the
you a
only
few.
ones. I don't shoot car commercials, but
Neither do I.
um, uh, was the one with Matthew McConaughey or
Oh,
whatever. What did he do? He
is
was in
it
his
Buick
he was in his Chrysler or
or
something.
Chrysler?
And what did
Yeah.
he do? Like what made it? I don't remember
He
why it was
talks
such a big
directly to camera or something. Or
while
he has
driving.
a voiceover.
While
He has
driving.
a really nice voiceover. Usually, it's like very.
Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, hey, hey. I'm in a Chrysler. I don't know.
Anyway, um,
But do you have an
so
example? No, really. Do you remember an example where a car commercial
no,
like sucked you in?
I don't remember the. I think it was Volvo or something
To
like
me,
that.
they all look the same.
No, there's like really good ones that were filmed overseas. I don't know where it was, but it was incredible. It was like the cinematography was outrageous.
And why was it good? Because they don't hit you right up in the front about this is a car commercial, right? It's a story, and
But
I
they
think
just told a good story while using their car.
while
You know
using
what I
their
mean?
car, and it's not
It
in
wasn't
your
like,
face.
oh, look, this is a Volvo. It's like
Yeah,
we're using a Volvo, but
and the more things change,
it's like this girl wrote a letter to her dad and then grew up or something.
it's just,
Something like
just more sophisticated
Yeah.
product placement.
yeah.
How can you get the Chick-fil-A level of caring and culture into your video production, your video agency?
The Chick-fil-A.
Like you're talking about caring. You're
It's
talking
my
about
pleasure.
caring. I know it's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
cheesy. It's
yeah,
kind of weird,
yeah.
but boy, do they do such a good job versus what's the difference between like, the Burger King or the McDonald's and the Chick-fil-A? It's a completely different experience.
Yep.
And these folks are making, the minimum wage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's incentives for them and whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know. But like, how do you know what I mean? How do you get people to care about your work? Chick-fil-A does it at scale. Isn't it fascinating? To me, I don't, is it, am I making sense?
No, yeah. No, they do. You're right.
And it's not,
And
it's not the money.
even-
It's not the money.
right.
It comes from the heart.
Mm-hmm. Well, they set like, they have like basically orders in place to like every, like you don't really have a bad experience at Chick-fil-A. Right?
No,
Like,
you don't.
That's
They're smiling and generally
That's
happy
why
to
they-
deliver you that bag out the to-go window.
Correct.
And I'm like, wow, she's happy. I feel happy that she's happy versus going through other drive-through windows.
And that's the same way when you're on set, right? Like you were saying, if you are happy and you want to be there and you're excited about the shoot, your client is going to take that energy and they're going to run with
And
it.
they're going to take that energy
And they're
it's
gonna
going to
love that.
spill into the work.
Correct.
And so I'm
It's
just
the
like,
same type of caring as Chick-fil-A.
It is.
It's
It
just
is.
into the
and that's where I'm
creative
going
space.
with it. I
Yeah.
was like, because what is the difference? I've seen one of the old Chick-fil-A training videos because an onboarding video.
Mm-hmm.
And it was another project that we kind of like used as inspiration, but it was really cool. One of their onboarding videos, I think it was a camera on what is it, the Glide Cam,
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
and it's going into a restaurant as if it was just a normal day at Chick-fil-A. People at the counter, people sitting down. The Glide Cam is going up. It's going up to the couple that is at the counter, and it shows the interaction. And then the camera slows down. The film slows down, and it highlights. I don't know if it was like an infographic or something like that, text, and it just said it had like a mother and a daughter, and it's just like, they're ordering Chick-fil-A, and it's like, mother just lost her husband in a car accident like 8 months ago. still recovering, um, taking the daughter out after school
Wow.
or something like that.
What
And,
a
and then the
great
camera
choice.
moves and goes to a couple that's sitting down, just eating. And then, it's the video speeds up, slows back down, couple family sitting at the table, dad diagnosed with
Mm.
pancreatic cancer, probably has like a year to live, whatever. So you see the theme, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
Everyone that walks through their doors has a story
and
that
they're
they're in
people
a.
and they're going through
So,
stuff.
yeah.
Everyone's got stuff and struggles. Are
Right.
human, right?
Right.
And it really brings that human element out. And I
Hmm.
just thought it was so beautiful, and it just resonated with me because, like, it's
Yeah.
like, um,
That's awesome.
I thought it was
I've
beautiful.
never seen that.
Oh, dude,
That's cool.
it's really good for an onboarding video. Totally shift
Yeah.
mindset, right?
Of why you should care too. That's like basically what they're saying, right? To their employees.
Yeah, think about these
Yeah. It's
people,
like, think about all the people that come in to Chick-fil-A a day.
and think
Tons,
about how you handle problems or stuff goes wrong at that restaurant, whatever you're dealing with, conflict or challenges. It's like, dude, you don't know what these people might be going through,
Right.
right? So give them the
Right.
benefit of the doubt and work with them and just
Correct.
smooth it over instead of just like creating tension.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, I don't know how you bottle that and turn it into your agency. It's like
That's really good example. The question is more like, well, how do you like stay creatively fulfilled in that when you're working on those things? And I mean, I think spec work is the way to do it. I mean, if you're always in like a space where like you're not allowed to like be creative really,
yeah,
but like
it's a lot of
usually like
corporate
there's
stuff,
there's
yeah.
usually, yeah, a lot of corporate things or things that you really are super excited about. um just go create something all the time. Like I was telling you, is like, if I'm not, you start to like down, like, I wouldn't say get bad at it. I think you just don't get better, you know? Um, when you
Yeah.
start not to create stuff like, that really fulfills the creative drive in you, because we all have that, like, oh, I need to go make something. I need to go make something. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in the business if you don't want to make something, right? It's like, I need to go make something, but what should it be? That's how I stay creatively filled, because I feel like you're always going to want to make something. So go, and you only get better by just continuing to do it, right?
Spec work is a great way to show off your skills and
Definitely.
level up and get the attention that you need. I know, and this might come back to your niche idea though. Like, is it fashion? Is it going to be, what was the other one you like doing? The cowboy stuff? Like, you
Yeah.
like some of the industrial stuff.
Yeah,
It's like,
industrial.
if you're gonna do spec stuff, maybe like zero in
Well, you
on a
should,
niche.
right? Yeah.
Because whoever sees your stuff, I want to see 4 or 5 examples of your fashion your fashion stuff.
Right. Or hospitality or whatever that may be. Yeah, like, and that's what we try to do when we create spec work. You and I, is like, we try to target like who we're going to target,
Yeah.
because that's the realm you want to be in. That's the one you should stick with and go create. If you really like it and enjoy it, go create that industry's those types of videos for spec work. And then they'll see
But
it.
you know how
And they'll see it and
uncomfortable,
go, "Oh, whoa."
and do you know how uncomfortable that is? Be like, okay, I'm gonna have to rally all these resources on this project that has no guarantee of providing any return. Um, this is just the nature of the business, and then also you're gonna have to pick an industry. How do you pick the industry? How do you pick the niche? Because you should pick a niche if
Mhm.
you're gonna start doing spec work, and make sure you have 4 or 5 lined up that are just beautiful around around that industry. Uh, isn't that nerve wracking? Like, be like, okay, I have to pick this niche.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
one door
it is.
closes,
Yeah.
when you open one door, you feel like all these
Mhm.
other doors are closing.
Yeah.
But man, if you can nail that niche, dude, that's going to be the
Yeah.
fastest way to grow.
Correct. Yeah.
If you were to compare someone in 4 or 5 years, if they only did soap commercials versus 4 or 5 years where somebody like myself, when we were first starting out, you're just doing a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the two going to be in 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years? The one who did only soap commercials, spec commercials, is probably going to be getting hit up
Yeah.
by,
Definitely. Because now he's so good at that
at,
soap commercial.
and it travels within the circle, dude.
Yeah.
Like
It's like,
soap,
oh yeah, that guy did a
dude,
soap commercial
bro.
for
He
me.
does the best soap videos.
Yeah.
And it travels.
Yeah, definitely. Like no matter what, like you'll get asked to do projects that aren't in your niche, right? But like, or just like different types of videos all the time and different people. You're meeting different people, and it takes you everywhere. Like you'll meet people,
It does.
and you'll learn about them, and you'll hear about why they do these things, and you're learning about new things. Like we filmed like a leather tannery, like I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly, but where they like tan leather, and they were tanning like fish skin onto a shoe brand for like a fashion, like a shoe brand.
No.
And it's like stuff like that. Like if I wasn't in this industry, I would never know. I wouldn't even know what that is, you know. Like, and it's cool that like you're there one day, and then like you're up filming music videos for somebody the next or whatever. It takes you all over the place.
It does take you all. No, that's a good point.
And you learn so much about those people you're with. You're riding with them in the car. It's awesome. It's really cool.
It is, dude. Sometimes I used to think like I'm getting paid to go on field trips with a camera. Yeah. You know, when you go to field trips with school, it's like I feel like I'm on a field trip, and I'm bringing a camera crew.
Yeah.
And we're like producing stuff. Or like it was funny watching my kid. We were shooting. Gosh, it was like back to back, dude. I think we filmed something at the rodeo, and then after that we had to film some like educational school promotional video with like. So my kids were like watching me go out the door, and then after that shoot, there was another one with like ice cream or something like that, and my kids were watching me go out the door week after week after week. One day I'm going out with the rodeo, and having all this like cowboy gear or whatever and hats. And they're like, wow, that's cool. And then the next week I'm going out to the school shoot, and I got all these like basketballs and toys and bats for the kids to play with. And he's like, wow, that's cool. And then the next day it was like all ice cream related. And I brought home all this ice cream. But like, where were you? I was at work, you know. And my kids are gonna be like, what's his dad do? Like, what is this? You know, it's
pretty interesting.
We're talking about all the different stuff. Like it does. It takes you all over the place.
Yeah. And you learn all about those clients and those people, right? Like it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to tell their stories and just like know about that, what you're shooting.
Yeah, dude.
Like you're literally just like learning about it as you're shooting it. And it's like, wow, this is really interesting. Some stuff that you shoot is like making music. Like I shot somebody who does music videos, like an artist, and it's like you spend time with them and they start talking about like all these things with music production that like you never know about, you know. And it's like, oh, this is your process for writing, and this is your process for like making things sound better, and it's really interesting. It's like, and then the next day, like you said, you're learning about like leather or something, you know?
Totally cool. Yeah, totally cool. It's, and the similarities with music and video is really interesting too.
Yeah.
Like the actual pacing and the beats and the flow and the ups and downs. It's like there's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes you all over the place. Yeah.
It's really cool.
All right. Hit that subscribe button. We're not one of the, it's not one of those.
We are not one of those.
We are not one of those. Like and subscribe.
But if you
like and subscribe.
Well, that probably ends our first episode. Thanks for shooting the breeze with us.
Thanks for shooting the breeze.
Yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.